Hello everybody, welcome to yet another video lesson. In this video, we're going to see how to install Python 3 on Ubuntu 22.04. Python is a free and open source high-level object-oriented programming language that is used in a wide range of domains, including data science, machine learning, AI, web development, and so on. It is a beginner-friendly language thanks to its code readability and easy-to-learn syntax. It's also widely used by experienced developers due to its flexibility and great support from a large community of developers. Now, to get started, ensure that you have an instance of Ubuntu 22.04 server with SSH access and with a sudo user configured. So for our case, we already have an instance of Ubuntu 22.04 that is deployed on Cherry servers. Now, Cherry servers is one of the leading European cloud services provider that is committed to offering private and secure cloud infrastructure to small and medium businesses at a cost-effective fee. Alright, now let's jump right in and install and configure Python 3 on Ubuntu 22.04. Now, by default, Ubuntu 22.04 already ships with Python 3 out of the box, and you can confirm this by running the command python 3 --version. Alright, so on your screen you can see that we already have Python 3.10.12 already installed. However, this is not the latest version of Python. And if you want to install the latest version, there are two options or two ways you can go about this. You can install from a PPA, which is the DeadSnakes PPA, or alternatively, you can also install from source, which gives you the very latest version of Python. Now we are going to look at both of these methods, starting with how to install Python 3 from DeadSnakes PPA. So see you in the next section. Now, the DeadSnakes PPA is a PPA that contains more recent Python versions that are packaged for Ubuntu. Now, to get started with installing Python from the DeadSnakes PPA, first of all, update the local apt cache by running the command sudo apt update. Then hit enter. So this will update your local package index. All right. Next, you need to install dependencies that will be required during the installation of Python. So to do so, run the command sudo apt install build essential software properties common like that. Okay, then hit enter. Okay, you'll be prompted to continue, so press Y on your keyboard and hit enter. So this is going to install all the dependencies and packages that will be required during the installation of Python. So this might take a few seconds to 1 minute. Okay, so just be patient as the installation goes on. All right. So as you can see, we are almost done. So you might get this notification. So I'm just going to hit enter to proceed. Okay, now we are done installing the dependencies. Next, we need to add the DeadSnakes PPA. And to do so, run the command sudo add apt PPA :DeadSnakes /PPA like that. Okay, so now, so here what we have forgotten is add apt repository. Okay, PPA DeadSnakes PPA like that. So hit enter. Okay, so you get a bunch of information on your terminal. Okay, so here just take your time and go through the information displayed. So as you can see, this PPA contains more recent Python versions packaged for Ubuntu. All right, so you can scroll down and read more information. All right, so down below here, to proceed, just press enter. So here we are going to press enter. Okay, so this adds the PPA and updates the local package index. All right, so I'm going to clear the screen. All right, so now we have added the DeadSnakes PPA. So you're going to update the local cache again. So sudo apt update. Okay, right. Now we're going to install Python 3.12, which is the latest stable version of Python as of the time of making this video. So to do so, I'm going to run the command sudo apt install Python 3.12. all right, and then I'm going to hit enter. All right, I'm going now to press Y on the keyboard and hit enter to proceed with the installation. Okay, so here once again I'll press enter to accept all the defaults, and we are done. All right, so now to confirm if Python 3.12 is installed, on the command line run the command Python 3.12 version like that and hit enter. So you can see that we have installed Python 3.12.1, which is the current stable version of Python. All right, so that is one way of installing the latest version of Python 3 on Ubuntu. Now the other method is installing Python 3 from source, which you're going to look at in the next section. So keep it here. Installing Python 3 from source is the best approach if you want to install the very latest version of Python on your system. So far, we have installed Python 3.12, which is the current stable version of Python, which is used in production environment. However, we are going to install a developmental release, which is Python 3.13. And just a word of caution, this is not recommended for production use since it is still in development. However, for demonstration on how you can install the latest version of Python from source, we are going to take this approach and install Python 3.13. All right, now to do so, first of all, head over to your web browser and visit the official Python download page. So here I'm going to open this on a new tab. All right, so here we are at the official Python downloads page. Okay, so here you can see we have Python 3.12, which is the current stable version. All right, so now here we're going to click Linux/Unix link. All right, so now here we're going to go to the pre-releases section here. Okay, so here you can see we have Python 3.13, which was released on November 21st, 2023. All right, so now I'm going to click this link here. Okay, so here you get some information about Python 3.13. So you can see that Python 3.13 is still in development. All right, and you can see that here we have been cautioned that please keep in mind this is a preview release and its use is not recommended for production environments. All right, however, we are going to see how you can install this from source, and this is simply for demonstration purposes because in the future this might make its way to production. Okay, all right, so now what you're going to do first, we are going to head over to our terminal and we're going to install the required dependencies that will be used to build and compile the Python code. All right, so here I already have the command for installing these dependencies. So I'm going to copy the entire command here, and I'm going to paste it on my terminal. All right, and hit enter. So I'm going to provide my password. All right, so as you can see, the installation of dependencies is underway. There are quite a bunch of dependencies, and this might take a few seconds to a minute. So just be patient as the installation proceeds. Okay. So as you can see, the installation is proceeding. So just take your time. So here I'm going to hit enter, and then I'll hit enter once more. All right, we are done installing the dependencies. All right. Okay, so now we're going back to the Python download page. Okay, so here we are at the Python 3.13 page. Okay, so now what you're going to do, we are going to download the source. We are going to download the source ball, or the compressed binary file. So here I'm going to click copy link address. Okay, so now I'm going back to my terminal. Then I'm going to download this using the wget command. Okay, so that's the link. So I'm going to press enter. All right, so you can see we have downloaded the compressed file, and it is this file here, as you can see. Now, once downloaded, you can check or verify the integrity of the tarball file by checking its MD5 checksum using the MD5 command. So you're going to run the command MD5 sum, then the name of the Python tarball file, then hit enter. So here you're going to see a string of characters, all right, on your terminal. So this string of characters need to match the string of characters here on the MD5 sum column. Okay, so that should match this. Okay, and since ours already match, as from you can see here, so this ensures that we have verified the correct tarball file. Moving on, the next step, we need to extract the tarball file, and you can do so using the tar command. So tar-x vf, then the name of the tarball file. All right, so hit enter. Okay, so this extracts the compressed file. All right, so when you list the contents, you can see now we have two files. We have the compressed file, and we have this Python folder. Okay, now navigate to the folder using the cd command, like that. Okay, so now let's check the contents. So here you can see we have a load of contents. So we have directories, we have other binaries. Okay, now the next step, we are going to use the configure command. So this runs a thorough test to check if all the dependencies of installing Python 3 are met. Okay, so to do so, you're going to run the command sudo, then configure, then enable optimizations. Okay, like that. Then hit enter. Okay, so as we have said, the command checks or runs a check to see if we have all that is required for the build process. Okay, So this can take a few seconds to a minute, so just be patient. All right, so everything looks okay. All right, so now the next step, we are going to now initiate the build process. Okay, so we are going to run the command sudo make -j2. Now this 2 here, as you can see, this represents the number of CPU cores on your system. So in my case, I have 2 CPU cores. Now the way you can check the CPU cores, you can run the command nproc, then hit enter. Sorry, here we have 4 CPU cores, not 2. Sorry for that. All right, so now let's run the make command. So here I'm going to run the command sudo make -j, then 4. Okay, then I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so you can see the make process is in progress. Now this might take some time, so at this point you can just take a brief break as the build process continues. So I'm going to pause the video and we'll be right back once the process is complete. And there we go. So the build process has successfully completed. All right, so now I'm going to clear the screen. All right, so now I'm going to run the alt install command to install all the Python binaries. Okay, so on your command, on the command line, run the command sudo make alt install, like that. Okay, so hit enter. Then I'm going to provide my password. Okay, so you can see the compilation of the binaries is ongoing. All right, so this will take again a few seconds to about a minute. All right, so this has successfully installed all the required binaries. Okay, so now let's confirm if Python 3.13 is installed. So on the command line, run the command Python 3.13 version, and as you can see on the terminal, we have successfully installed Python 3.13. Now remember, this is a developmental release and it shouldn't be installed on a production environment. All right, so we have looked at both ways, 2 ways of installing Python. We have installed Python from the DeadSnakes PPA and we have installed Python from source. Now in the next step, we're going to set up a virtual environment for Python 3. Now this is an optional step, and later on we are going to create and test a simple Python program. All right, so see you in the next step. In this step, we're going to see how to set up a virtual environment for Python 3. A virtual environment provides an isolated space on your system to run Python projects. It ensures that each Python project runs separately from the rest of the projects and has its own set of dependencies. This provides greater control of your Python projects and is especially beneficial when projects have different sets of requirements. Essentially, a virtual environment is just a folder with libraries, dependencies, and a few scripts. Now we're going to install the Python virtual environment, and to do so, on your terminal, run the command sudo apt install python 3 -virtual environment, like that. So hit enter. So you'll see, I'm going to press enter. So you see the Python 3 virtual environment has been installed. All right, so I'm going to clear the screen. Now, with the module installed, we can proceed and set up our environment in any directory of our preference. So now we're going to create a directory in which to install the virtual environment. So I'm going to create a test directory. So I'm going to issue the command mkdir followed by the name of the environment, which is going to be test environment, like that. Then I'm going to navigate into the directory using the cd command. Okay. All right. So now we are going to create the virtual environment using the command sudo python3 -m virtual environment, like that, then followed by the name of the virtual environment. So in this case, I'm going to give it the name my underscore test environment. Okay, like that. Then I'm going to hit enter. So this just takes a few seconds. Okay, now using the ls command, you can see that we have created the directory called my tests environment. Okay, now you can view the contents of the directory using the ls-l command, then my test directory. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a list of folders, directories, and configuration files. All right. Okay, so now with that done, the next step is we're going to now activate the virtual environment. Okay, and to do so, simply run the command source, then followed by the name of the virtual environment, my test environment, then /bin /activate, like that. Hit enter, and now you can see that the prompt has changed. So here you can see that we have a prefix that shows the name of the Python virtual environment. Okay, so this is a confirmation that the environment is now active. Okay, and now we can now start creating our Python applications. Okay, so now I'm going to clear the screen. Okay, so now in the next step, we are going to create a simple Python program and run it to ensure that Python is running as expected. Now, finally, to test whether our virtual environment is working, we are going to create a simple Python program that prompts a user to provide two numbers and later sums them up and prints out the result on the screen. All right, so now we are going to create a simple Python program using the nano editor. So we're going to have nano, then the name of the program. So in this case, add two numbers. So you can call your program whichever name you prefer. So in our case, we have nano, then add two numbers. So that's the name of the Python program. Then you'll hit enter. Okay, so now we are going to write a few lines of code. Okay, so here we have num1 is equals to integer. So we're going to use the input function. So here we're going to say, please enter the first number. Then you'll close the parentheses. All right, like that. Then num2 is equals to integer. So here we are casting the input, method. So here we're going to have input then please enter the second number. So what these two lines do, they're going to prompt the user to provide an integer. Now the input method only accepts string. Okay, so now with the integer method here, we are going to cast the string into integers. Okay, so that you can now sum them up. So here we have a variable total, which is going to sum the two integers. So num1 plus num2, like that. All right, then finally we're going to print the output to the terminal. So here we have the value of the sum of the two numbers is full colon, comma, then the variable total, which is the sum of num1 and num2. Okay, then I'm going to close the parentheses like that. Okay, so now let's save this. So I'll press Ctrl O, hit enter, and then Ctrl X to exit. All right, to a terminal here. So ls, so here we have our Python file here, our Python program. Now to run it, simply run the command python3, then the name of the Python file, add2numbers.py. Okay, so we are prompted for the first number, so I'm going to input 90. Then the second number, let's say 55, and voila, so the sum of the two numbers is 145. So this proves that we have successfully set up our virtual environment, and you can see that we are now able to run Python programs. All right guys, so that brings us to the end of this tutorial. So in this tutorial, we have walked you through various ways of installing Python 3. We have looked at how to install Python 3 using the DeadSnakes PPA and also to install it from source. We've also gone a step further and demonstrated how you can install and set up a virtual environment for running Python programs. And also we have demonstrated how to create a simple Python program and how to run it. All right, so that is the end of this tutorial. Please give it a thumbs up, share it, and subscribe to our channel to help us grow. So that's about it. So see you in the next lecture.